Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing. It's Thursday night, so it's time for Division 2. We are coming this week live from the Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Canada, Montreal. So last time out, Johnny winning the race, pushed hard by Kazingo. In fact, I think Kazingo was leading, but tyres dropped off at the end. But as we've seen, just getting the table up to have a look at, Pipkey leading the way on 69 points. Johnny just 9 points behind on 60 points. Did miss a race as well. So looking good for Johnny so far. Hummer in third with 54 points. And then Jack in fourth, 43. And Riker in fifth with 36, running out the top 5. So anyway, enough talking. Let's jump on who is the first one out. It's going to be Johnny, isn't it? Yeah. So Johnny looking to put a time on the board. But also need to keep an eye on Pipkey and Hummer. They've been pretty good in qualifying this year as well, sharing the front row on many occasions. I think Hummer not having the best race last time out at Imola. So he'll be looking to bounce back tonight. Right, so let's jump on board with Johnny as he starts his lap. Turn 2 up to 3 and 4. Great one here for invalidating a lap or picking up a warning. As is the final chicane that we'll get to shortly. Here, if you get too much curve on the inside with worn tyres, it will spit you out. But you obviously need to carry as much speed through into the DRS zone. There's a possible overtaking area here, but not likely. Now going down towards the hairpin. So this is one of the prime overtake spots that you will see during the race. And so now opening it up. It's the DRS detection zone we've just gone through there. The activation zone is now. Johnny will open it up flat out. He'll dump all of that ERS that he's got. Hopefully the car in front is not going to impede him, which it is. That is absolutely stupid. Hummer, you really got to have a look, see what's going on. And Johnny now picks up a 5-pace grid penalty for that. Okay, that's unfortunate, but we were on board with it anyway, so we'll see. So Jack, we'll jump on with him and see how he does on his lap. Pretty much about halfway round, so we'll see what he's set to. Mind you, nobody's actually set a time yet. I think we could be looking... is it the other Haas of Fog? Yeah, purple. But obviously will be the first man to set a time. So let's see what he can set. Did very, very well in Division 1 last night, getting on the podium. And looking a little bit better than that at one point. Could have been in for a chance for the race win. But the 110.799. Jack, I think, is going to be the next one to set a time. But it looks like he has backed off. And he's going again, so Jack will be going on to a second lap. And we've got Hummer behind, who has invalidated, obviously because of that contact with Johnny. Johnny into the pit, he's not going to be very happy at all. Okay, who do we have coming across now? Looks like it could be the other Red Bull of... is it Connor? No, it's not Connor. Right. Alpine of NLD Rush or 110.840, so not far at all behind Bogorovsky. We've now got a Mercedes, which will be Brother Adam. Mercedes in the race tonight. Got a grid of 17, so not bad. We've had a few dropouts tonight, whether that's down to the track as well or other commitments, not 100% sure. But we have what we have. Riker is looking, yeah, he's just starting the lap now. So who is on one tour? Let's stay on board with Jack as he's coming up in the final sector. His car in the distance, I don't think that's going to impede him. has dumped all of his battery. Could have done with a little bit more down that straight. Cuts those corners well. Nice and quick through there. Floors it. Let's see what time he can get. A 110.787. So the Haas boys leading the grid at the current time, but still a long way to go, and a lot of cars yet to cross the line. Pombear, so joined us quite late in, but a 111.866, so he hasn't had too much preparation, but I think he will still do okay. So apart from that corner, I'm going to just be quiet now. Okay, so we'll have a yellow flag round here. Pombear just needs to keep tucked out of the way, which he does. Okay, so Johnny is going for a lap now. Obviously his first one, as we saw, was impeded by Hummer, who's just a little bit further up the track. He's invalidated as well, so he will abandon this one. Riker straight up in a pole position with a 110.582. That's a cracking lap by him. The Katsis, well, we're going to have composite, I think, just in front there, and then it will be the Katsis. Composite the 114.3. Calais with a 112.6. Pretty good time for him on the back, sort of 4/10 off of Skipper. I know he's been struggling with his track and the game, but he'll get better and better week by week. So stick with it. Okay, Hummer, who was that ahead of him? That's Johnny, isn't it? Yeah, so Johnny got past him. Hopefully he wasn't impeded this time round, but the time 110, 111. Yeah, not a great lap for Johnny. So far, not so good for him. So Connor now onto a lap. Johnny a little bit further round. So has used a lot of his ERS though, dumping it now. Let's see what sort of time he can get. Obviously without a time on the board at the moment. 44.250. Let's just have a look, but I think Andre might be in the wrong car. Trying to remember. Yeah, Andre should be in the McLaren and seems to have jumped himself into the Aston Martin. So, so yeah, we'll have to ignore the fact that he is there tonight. We'll be representing the McLaren, just using a completely different livery tonight. Okay, so Connor now in the last sector, and Hickey finally going out for a lap. I'm not sure if he invalidated on his first one. Connor comes across the line. Okay, only 117.3, but as I think that was another warm-up lap for him. Pipke. So it's difficult to see how they're doing without a relevant sector time that they've set, but hopefully Pipke will do so this time. And boy oh boy does he, a 110.396 for Mr. Pole Man this year. He's got more pole positions than anybody, and he's currently sitting in a really good position to maintain that this week. Right, Kazingle is out, so the Haas doing its second run of the session. Bogorowski sitting in the pits at the moment, but so Haas would be quite happy with that, third and fourth. So race strategy has a lot to come into it in this race. So tyres really, Jack has aborted now. So Andre talking the devil in his Aston Martin. Okay, who else do we have? Connor. Connor's just completed a lap. So who do we have that's going to be starting the lap? Apologies for that. I just had to open the chat. Andre has said that it was a habit getting in the Aston Martin, has done it, or races in another league in the Aston, just jump straight in. So never mind, sir. You will still get your points for McLaren. Just as I say, just got a different livery tonight, so we'll treat it that way. Okay, who is on a lap at the top here? We've got Riker. So certainly dumping his ERS with his DRS open down this long straight, so I believe he is on one. We'll jump on board just to see how he takes this final chicane. Takes a big chunk of both. Probably could have carried a little bit more speed through there, but a 110.251, so shut your mouth, Neil. What do you know? Jack is 2.5 tenths up, so could we look at a 110.5 if he continues the same way he did on his opening lap. But if he's got anything to improve, certainly going through the chicane, now is the time to do it. I have a feeling that may well be his teammate. Is that his teammate in front? Giving him a draft. Yeah, good old Bogorovsky. You can always rely on him. Fantastic teammate. Would have been my teammate this year. Or I would have been his teammate, should I say, but unfortunately didn't work out that way. But Jack up in a second place with a 110.394. So Bog will abort that in an attempt to give his teammate pole position. So Brother Adam a 10.5 up on his time, so could be breaking into the 10s. And I've just missed, who was that? Just jumped straight up there. It was Riker again. No, it wasn't. Somebody jumped up. Oh, it was Hummer, 110.567. So finally gets a time onto the board. How's Johnny doing in fourth? 110.398. So they'll be happy to finally get one on board. I think could come into pits, put a fresh set on. And get another run in. Need to be quick though. Bog. He's saved all his battery. Is he going to go for another run, or is he going to come into the pits, bolt a fresh set on, and then perhaps reverse the time? No, he is going. So Bog is on the go. Brother Adam has eased off, which we knew anyway. The Catsis, 13 seconds down. Pombear, 6 seconds down. Okay, so it looks like the man that we need to watch at the moment is Bogorovsky. Not 4 seconds down. Is he 4 seconds down? We'll find out as we go through. No, 7 tenths off. So I think it was 4 seconds down on his last lap because they eased off. So yeah, Bogorovsky slightly up on his time. Needs to find half a second for pole position, but he does have it in him. But as I say, this is going to come down to strategy and keeping it clean. Big penalties to be had here, obviously with the final chicane being a big one for picking up warnings, and they can soon mount up. As well as the pit entries, not the most friendly. You can quite easily pick yourself up a 10-second penalty there as well, and your race can be ruined. So pit key, geez, 109.965. I'm sorry, sir, I missed that. I was on board with Bogorovsky. I know you're in the chat, so you can give him the slack for hogging the limelight, but Bog is going to come across there with a 110.4, so up into 5th position. D Summers, our reigning champion, is nearly 2 tenths up, so again could break into the 10s, but needs to find a lot more than that to get himself up on the front row. And is it Pombear a little bit? No, he's behind, so we'll go back to Summers. I think it's the furthest around. The rest are either in the pits or on outlaps. Here we go, Summers coming down. Oh, he's invalidated too. Okay. Who should I tell you what, Riker has shown an awful lot of pace. I don't know how to pronounce his name, whether it's Riker, or Ricker. So I'm going to call him Riker. But yeah, Riker has shown some serious pace tonight, but 3/10 he needs to find to get back on the front, or to get back on pole position ahead of Pipke. That really was a stonking time by Pipke there. And does have time to change his tyres and go out for another run if he really wants to. I'm not sure he's going to need to with that time. We will see. So anyway, Riker now around the hairpin, heading along the last straight, be dumping all of his DRS wide open as soon as you're allowed to. And then look at cutting as much of this chicane up here that you legally can and carrying as much speed without invalidating, which he has managed to do. We'll see what his time is as he crosses the line. It is a 1:10.2, so second place solidified for Riker at the moment. But we've still got others out on a lap. Johnny slightly up on his time. Who else do we have? The Alpines look like they're going to be crossing. Combear, no, they're both backing out. So D Summers has retired in the pit, so well, basically has done his runs, and he's just going to sit and watch that. Right, okay, let's have a look, see how Johnny is getting on, coming towards the end of the lap. Go flat out, dump everything you've got. DRS wide open, a 1:10.3, so fourth position for Johnny. I'm sure he'd be quite happy with that. So Hummer on a lap has invalidated, he will not improve on 10th position. Brother Adam. The Aston Martin of Andre, well, the McLaren Martin of Andre, popping it into 8th position now. Brother Adam now coming through, can he get down into the 110s? Yes he can, 1:10.5 up into 8th position, so jumps back ahead of Andre. Johnny, he's not going again, no, he's backed out. Okay, so Jack has invalidated. Hummer is not going to improve, he's invalidated as well. But we want to win with Andre. I think this is pretty much it. Calais getting on, just coming across the line now at 11.954, so 15th place for Calais. Not a bad run, sir. Katsis is going to be, no, got Brother Adam just behind if Brother Adam can improve. So the Cats is currently a 1:11.169. Does not improve. Brother Adam into the pits, Andre into the pits. So that brings to an end the qualifying session, and Pipke taking another pole position this year. I'm not sure if it's his third or his fourth. Because we're only round 5, that's been pretty damn dominant. So yeah, congratulations to him, and sorry I missed that lap. Okay, so let's get the results in. So Pipke taking pole position, being joined on the front row of the grid by Riker. Kazingal and Johnny sharing row 2. Then we've got NLD Rush and Bogorovsky on row 3. On row 4, we have Hummer and Brother Adam with Andre and Summers on row 5. Lekatsis and Raikkonen on row 6. Pombear and Skipper on row 7. Calais and Connor on row 8. And Composite on his own on row 9 at the back of the grid. Okay, so we are on to the race. Looks like it is dry. Don't know if the whole race is going to be dry. I've not seen any anything on that. Just going to have a quick look in the chat in case I've missed anything. Okay. So no mention of the weather, but as I say, it looks sunny. It's going to be quite punishing on tyres here at Canada. I mean, a one stop is possible, hard to the mediums, but you're really going to be struggling towards the end. The safer bet, I think, is to go for the two stop. I think it does work out. It's a couple of seconds quicker actually to do the two stop, but a lot depends on track position and obviously the odd safety car that decides to pop out. Certainly in Canada, we do see some incidents and accidents here, so I don't expect tonight will be any different. But we will soon find out. Obviously Johnny as well, getting that 5-place grid penalty is going to drop him back a fair few places. Okay, right, we'll leave that as is for now. Oh no, sorry, no. We're going to have a quick look at tyres, see what everybody's gone for. So yeah, basically the medium and the hards opens up the option of a two-stopper. Top three on the medium, got NLD Rush on the hards, everybody else mediums other than Andre and Lecatsis. Right the way down to 13th. Then we have the bottom four going for obviously the alternate strategy on the hards. Try and take it as long as they can, take advantage of any safety car that is there. But obviously wait for their tyres to come to temperature and become the better tyres over the mediums, which isn't going to take too long around here. Okay, so where did Johnny? Johnny ended up in 9th position after that 5-place grid penalty. Can see in the chat that Hummer has apologised for that incident, so peace has been made. But yeah, just a note for people just to keep your eyes peeled. Pipke is going to have very cold tyres because he has absolutely shot off in front of everybody. And right at the back we have Composite, who's not even into that final chicane yet, and Pipke's tyres have probably already dropped a few degrees. Kazingo and NLD Rush missing their grid slot, so they're going to start just a little bit further back than they should do. Right, are we going to get a decent camera shot? I don't think we are. I think this is probably going to be... Oh, no, we have got a decent one. Right, okay, so here we go. 2 reds, 3, 4, 5. The lights are out and off we go for the Canadian Grand Prix, and a good start there by Pipke, retaining the lead ahead of Riker. Then we have Kazingo keeping there. We've got a bit of a tussle going on a bit further back, some carbon fibre flying even. Looks like Andre might have lost a position or two, but then back we're not too bad. So okay, let's go back to the front where Pipke has got away well, already pulled himself up a 0.8 of a second. Look at try and break in that second as quick as he can. Riker is going with him and carrying Jack along in his slipstream. Then we've got a bit of a gap back to NLD Rush. Bogorowski in 5th position, with Hummer looking to make a move on Bogorowski if he can, looking very feisty there. I was going to say Summers looked like he was going to go for a late move there, but it looks like we've got Skipper making a move. Let's see, on the outside of Conbear or the other way round, but either or. Oh, just ahead, it looks like Bog Not sure if that was a mistake or made contact, but unfortunately ended up cutting that final chicane, so probably get a bit of a warning as well as losing a couple of positions, or one position in the end, actually down to 6, but Hummer down with him, so I do wonder if perhaps something happened between those two, but keep an eye on that. Hummer dropping back just a little bit further now, but anyway, front 3 have stuck together. That gap now, Pipke didn't manage to increase on that 8/10, so he's back to, well, just 3/10 at the moment within DRS. The 3 of them will probably use each other to pull away as quick as they can. Summers, I've noticed, has jumped up a couple of places. I think he probably avoided the little melee that happened a little bit further back, but he is into 4th position, 2.2 second gap to the lead trio. He'll be looking at chipping away at that. I mean, if these guys can work together, they will be okay. So Raikkonen has had a spin down at the chicane, dropped quite a few places there. So I'm not sure if that was contact or whether that was just a spin, but we will see. But here we go. Front 3 are now battling, coming down into turn 1. Pipke coming under pressure now from Riker behind. Okay, what do we have? Trying to catch anything that's going on, because there's lots going on, and I seem to miss the majority of it. So, who was that spinning around? It was right. So Hummer into the pit. So I can only assume he did get damage in that tussle with Bogorovsky. We'll find out a bit later. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch it. But it looked like the final chicane bog went off, so whether Hummer tried to come up the inside, or could be the outside, I don't honestly know, but at the end of the day, Bogorovsky's lost a place, and Hummer now having to pit at the back of the field. Oh! Bogorovsky nearly, well, did throw it into the wall there, so I'm hoping he has picked the option to change his front wing, which he has. So yeah, front wing will be changed, but yeah, nearly losing it into the wall there. But Bog's now going to be cast to the back of the grid, so his race is really now going to be with Hummer. And there is Hummer. I think they're going to come out pretty much side by side as well, so this could be quite interesting. So yeah, Bog just a little bit behind. Brother Adam making the move on Rush. Is Rush in trouble as he made a little mistake? Just made a slight error, but it's costing 2 positions really, because we now have Andre in the McLaren Martin making the move, and he does. He makes that move through there. And Johnny thinks, thank you very much, I'd like a bit of that as well, and he moves himself up into 7th position. So D-Rush losing 2 positions at that corner. What has gone on back here? Humbert and Raikkonen are out. Oh, Jesus, what has happened there? This could be a red flag. Oh no, they've cleared it. So we are certainly looking at a full course yellow, but I'm not sure if it's a virtual or if it's a full safety car. I think it's just a virtual at the moment, because we would see the safety car on... Oh, safety car is on track, of course, yes. We have cars getting past it now. There is the safety car. So it is going to be a full safety car. Raikkonen has left the session. Unfortunately, an incident there. Not quite sure what happened between him and Humbert. Humbert has apologised in the chat. Basically, oh my god, I'm sorry. So I think a loss of control, a small mistake has perhaps taken them both out, but it gives us our first safety car. Certainly going to be a godsend for the likes of Hummer and Bogorovsky at the back of the grid. Unfortunately, you're not going to get a huge amount of positions back, but they will gain that time back. And obviously for the front runners, they can make a pit stop if they want, but I think it could be a little bit early. Certainly for anyone on hard, they're not going to want to pit, but medium, are you going to really want to dump them off at this early point in a race? Looks like a yes. So the front three are in. 4 and 5 are in. Andre staying out in the McLaren Martin. In. NLD Rush staying out as well in the Alpine. So yeah, quite a few pitted. There are a few staying out, but as I say, I bet you they are all going to be the ones on hard tyres, which indeed they are. 5 lap on hards, far too early to come in and put a fresh set on. Well, there we go. We have the entire grid on hard tyres. Obviously different ages. We've got 5 laps for the front 6. Composite also in 8th has 5 lap older. Hummer and Bogorowski 3 and 2 laps respectively due to a incident. I think at the where is it, turn 13? Yeah, just the chicane before the World Champions, which hopefully we won't see any in there tonight. So we've got a few champions racing here tonight, so could be any of them. So safety car is coming in this lap. That was a very quick safety car, but the good news is everybody has now caught up. So we will be back green flag racing with the whole pack in tow. So Andre will set the pace here. He will go pretty much now, yeah, into the final corner. I mean, sometimes when you're coming out the final corner, but it's the only place to go really. So Andre does go and has a 7. The Cats is picking up a penalty as well as Composite. Johnny as well picking up a penalty there. But yeah, Andre keeping the lead, putting a 7/10 position. Jack making a move up the inside of Riker, and he does, and keeps it. Summers trying to follow him through as well. But I don't. Oh, yep, Summers makes his move through. Riker wasn't having anything of it, but it got to the point where you don't really have too much of a choice. Jack has now made the move past Composite. Composite struggling to get some temperature into those 6 lap old hards, but we'll get there. Composite now dropping back, but Calais, look at Calais up into 8th position. I say hasn't stopped yet, but now down into 7th position, 8th position. So yeah, Jack and Summers now past him. Riker will be next man trying to get past with Johnny in tow. Then he'll get to more of the of his racing speed, I think, where he can then enjoy the rest of the race. But let's just see how he gets on with Riker. I don't think he's certainly not going to give the position. Oh, almost into the World Champions there for Calais, going a little bit wide. So Riker is now past and up into 9th position. So Bog having a good battle back here with brother Adam in the Mercedes. It looks like Bog has the better of him there. He does indeed. It also puts Hummer right behind him. Another questionable move tonight, Hummer. That looked a little bit of a late dive and then gaining the position going off, but we will see what happens later on. As I say, it's only from an angle. I could have completely the wrong end of the stick. But Hummer does follow Bogorowski through into 12th position. So back at the front, Andre keeping NLD Rush just teetering round about that second. But NLD Rush will now have a double dose to try and close that up. But Skipper, 3rd position, fair play to you, sir. Not only in 3rd place, but he is keeping up with the guys ahead and keeping Connor at bay. But it does look like this front 4 have managed to just make a little bit of a mini break. Obviously Pitke probably getting temperature into those tyres. Hummer picking up a 3-second penalty. What happened there for Hummer? He's dropped back behind Calais now. And brother Adam through as well. And oh, broken front wing for Hummer, so he is getting out of the way, which is fair play to him, but he'll be coming back round to the pits for stop number 2. Kelly picking up a time penalty there, but as I say, it is pretty much expected around here. It's a bloody hard course. More penalties the closer you're following the car in front as well. But Calais and Brother Adam now having a nice little tussle down there. Brother Adam making the gain on it. What happened to Rush there? Rush has lost a couple of places. There's been lots of flashy, I think, cars close. Oh, who was that in the background? That's the Alpine of Rush nearly losing it. Okay, but Connor in second place. Brother Adam picking up a 3-second time penalty. But Pipke now is the lead of the already stoppered. With Jack very, very close behind him. Riker obviously not far away. Skipper getting overtaken by Pipke. I think Jack will be the next one, looking to make a move around the outside here. So Skipper sensible enough to know when the position has been lost. But next pass is going to be Ricker. So is he going to be as successful getting round? He does indeed. Skipper, I think, struggling on those hards. Summers just a little bit further back, playing it easy, get him out of here. So it looks like, yeah, I think Skipper may be struggling with his ERS there as well. He's been flashing pretty much most of the straight, so I think he might have used a little bit too much to try and get up on ahead. Bogrovsky now up into 9th. Something is wrong with Rush because he's dropped probably about 7 seconds over the last couple of laps. I'm not sure if those tyres at 10 are giving him a bit of grief. But yeah, his pace really has dropped off, and that's something you don't see very often. Bogorovsky picking up a 3-second penalty. I don't know how many warnings, if any, the front 5 are on, but none of them have a penalty as of yet. And as I say, it can be so important in any race, to be honest, but I mean certainly around here, because penalties are so easy to pick up. Yeah, Rush now losing a position to Brother Adam, so yeah, he's lost almost 4 seconds on 1 lap. But Andre into the pits, put a fresh set of mediums on his McLaren Martin for tonight, so he's going to be rapid over the next few laps. So 23 laps still to go. So you'd still be looking at a couple of stints of 11 laps on the mediums if that's the way that Andre's going to go, or he could go medium hards. Hummer also on the mediums. But I'll be honest, it's shit or bust really for Hummer at this point. I say it's all pretty much gone wrong, and he's languishing down the back. So 13th position. Safety car could springboard him all the way back again. So it is that kind of race that you just can't call it until it's pretty well, until it's finished. I mean, we could go back to Jenson Button years ago. You know, it's there is absolutely no way he should have won that race from, you know, a drive through, being at the back of the grid, being at the back of the pack, but it works out. So you just never know, certainly around Canada. But okay, let's look back at the front 4 here, because they are slowly being caught by the pack, or well, Summers and Johnny behind. So we could soon find that the top 6 are pretty close together. Calais and Composite. Oh no, Calais' gone in. Composites into the pits. That's why. So we've got Connor and Skipper, the only people not to stop yet. So they leak those tyres out as far as they can. Bogorowski 9 laps on these hards. Did start. What did he start? I think he started on the mediums, didn't he? But obviously early damage, I think, in an incident with Hummer dropped him back and put him just out of kilter slightly with the pit stop strategy, but he's slowly clawing his way back in. So Connor comes out. Oh, Skipper going for the soft tyres. Not sure if that is a mistake, because they're only going to last about 6 laps or so. But he potentially could be bloody quick for a while. So let's see if he's coming out actually battling anyone. So unfortunately, he's pretty much in dead space. 8 seconds up the road is Connor. And 10 seconds behind him is Rush, so we're really not going to be in a battle to use those. But Connor now on his fresh hards will go after Andre's mediums. So the mediums will be pretty good for a while, but then they'll drop off slowly. So back at the front, Johnny has caught onto the back of these now. Summers just struggling a little bit, dropping off the back of this grid. Does look like he's got right end plate. Yeah, he has right end plates missing. So Summers doing pretty well to keep going and keep within a second and a half of this lead group. If he could just gain that extra half, it'd be so much easier for him with DRS and, you know, being able to ease some of his ERS back. But easy to say, especially with a broken wing. But you know, Bog behind him now, just over 4.5 seconds. We're looking at hunting him down, but 11 laps on those hards as well. Championship leader Pitke probably look at taking the lead again here, will he? It could well be he's just happy to sit behind, but the problem is you do that and then all of a sudden you become under so much pressure from the likes of Riker and J5 gaining behind. But if you're all playing the same game, Pitke picking up a 3-second penalty there, so we are down to just the 2 in the at the front that don't have penalties at all, which is Kazingal and Riker. Also, Andre, Connor, and NLD Rush haven't got penalties a bit further down in the field, so obviously a late safety car, they could be laughing. Still a long way to go, not even halfway yet in this race, so it's been quite eventful so far. I've only had the 2 retirements, which is Raikkonen and Pombear. Looked like a bit of an incident coming out of the hairpin. Again, not quite sure what happened, but we saw one of them jumping around, and Pombear did apologise in chat, so we'll see if anything else comes of that, but accidents do happen. But yeah, that's all we've had so far. But it's the late safety car that is the absolute killer if you've got penalties. And obviously when people start getting tired and tyres go off, it is quite possible that we will see something in the last sort of 6 or 7 laps, which could just add a little bit of spice into it. Calais now going on to the soft tyres as well. In the same position, certainly not deploying much DRS now on. Not really using too much there, so they're just using each other to, you know, sort of pull themselves along at the moment. So we've still got probably another round of pit stops. I can't see that they're going to make it to the end, but I may be completely wrong. Andre making a move on Brother Evan there. Obviously 6 lap pressure tyres. Connor deciding that he would like that position as well, if you don't mind, thank you very much, and takes 8th position. So they're both on the bounce back after making pit stops. Not too far off the grid ahead of them, to be honest with you. Riker now picking up a penalty, so Jack is the only one in the lead group without a penalty now. We're down to 3 drivers that don't have it, which is Ozzy Kazingle, Andre, who we are on board with now, that has Connor all over the back of him. And NLD Rush is the other driver. Connor looking to make the move now, and he does that quite easily, just breezes past Andre there. A little bit of ERS, but could also be tactical for Andre, the fact that he is now in the DRS zone, so can use that and save a little bit of his own ERS. Yeah, he looks quite low on ERS, so I think he's just recharging, just be quite happy. Bog into the pit, so get rid of those 14 lap old hards. What's he going to go on to? Could go on to another lap, set of hards to the end of the race if he has them, which looks like he has. So yeah, Bog potentially can take those 16 laps to the end of the race. Obviously starting on the mediums, having that incident, being able to change them after a couple of laps. So yeah, he is done and dusted potentially for his pit stops, unless of any damage or a late safety car, then obviously you're going to take advantage of that. But depends what he's got available. Summers picking up a penalty there. Yeah, I thought so. That was a rather large cut on that corner. But here's what it is. We'll have a look at penalties. Everybody with 3, Summers with 9 seconds, and we've got Hummer and Lacatsis also with 6 seconds. Hummer now 9 seconds. So yeah, quite a lot of time to be added on there at the end of it. But yeah, everybody making a stop now. Andre and we'll get these controls right on with. Right, let's get rid of all of that and concentrate on the racing. So the closest battle we have is Composite on Calais. So Calais keeping that position. No, he doesn't. That runs off. So Composite through. NLD Rush now within a second. Riker looking to make a move on Brother Adam, but Brother Adam not having any of it. Brother Adam now into the pits. Andre into the pits. Jack into the pits. So Kazingle, where is he going to come out? That's a pretty damn good stop actually, and he's going to come out just behind Hickey, but with far better fresh tyres. And we've got a yellow. Is a yellow. Who's out? Who is out? Nobody? We've got a full safety car. I think that must be why people pitted, but I didn't see who was out or why. Katsis has been lapped. He is behind Connor. Hummer getting a drive-through penalty. Really has been a crap day for him today. Picking up a drive-through penalty now after early collision, basically. Incident in qualifying where he didn't see Johnny on a fast lap. And Hummer has now been disqualified from the session for picking up too many penalties. Okie dokie. So okay, so Composite picking up a 3-second time penalty. How do you pick up a penalty when you go on the safety car, Composite? Come on. I know you're pushing, mate, but... Looks like Calais has avoided being lapped, and as long as he's not under Delta, he should be able to floor it now. And okay, might not get round to the back of the grid. It depends. I think the safety car is going to be coming in this lap. We'll find out just at the end here, because that's where the Delta 4 or the line for sector 3 is. We'll find out then if it's coming in. Don't believe it is. No, so we're going to be out for another lap behind the safety car. To be honest, if I was the Katsis, I would probably pit now. You're not going to come out any worse than sort of 11th, and Connor pits. Connor, that's going to drop him, well, literally outside the top 10 now, but I suppose if you needed to take advantage of it, but what that has done is it's freed up Hickey at the front, and Kazingle as well, and Riker. So the three fastest drivers we've really had today are back in the front three positions. Johnny as well, not short of a bit of pace. Obviously showing that with 2 race wins already this season, second in the championship, and did close in on this top 3 battle. So I think he has got the pace in there, and obviously he'll be first one to take advantage of anything that goes wrong in front. Defending champion Summers in 5th position. Then we have Andre in 6th, Brother Adam 7th, Bog in 8th position. Quick look at tyres as well, so the age of the tyres. Obviously Bog's surrounded by medium runners there, so potentially he could lose a few places, but it's not going to be long before he makes 12 laps to go. Yeah, I think he'll still have the stronger tyre at the end, but it's whether he can keep past. But Skipper impressive in 9th position. As I said, the last couple of races has been you know, sort of sniffing around good points. But Connor does indeed come out in 11th position behind the Rush, but ahead of the Kicksalver of Composite.
So safety car is coming in this lap. We will be going. Oh, Pitke taking that a little bit narrow there. Probably could have done better coming across. Oh, you can't overtake. Oh, that's a... How comes Pitke is 4.5 seconds up the road? He went, didn't he? I don't know if Jack didn't, or... Oh, no, it was a lap car, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus, of course it was. So, yeah, so the Cats is causing absolute carnage at that restart by not going with Pitke. Then Jack obviously wanting to go, not be able to make that overtake until they got to the start-finish line. And then losing the position to Riker. Oh, yeah, dreadful restart for Jack. We have another yellow. Why do we have yellow? Nope, that's gone now. Right, okay, so back to the front. Right, okay, so I finally figured out what happened there. So, but Pitke had a gap down to 3.3 seconds already. DRS now enabled as well, but Jack looking to make a move on Riker. Thinks better of it, but Riker goes out a little bit wide. Is Jack going to stick his nose up the inside? He's not. He's just going to follow through for now. I think we all know where the best overtaking place is. Just got to make sure that you get a decent drive coming out of the hairpin, and then the position can be made before the chicane, and then an extra boost of DRS to boot to try and get yourself away after that. Are we going to see any moves down the start-finish line? Doesn't look like it. Jack moved out just to show his nose to Riker, but I don't think it was to make that move. But the gap at the front now back up to 3.7 again. So it looks like Pitke's stabilising it and maybe just stretching his legs a little bit. But Jack and Riker racing again into turn number 1 and 2. Jack is through. So let's see if Jack can now stretch his legs a little bit and try and nibble into that 3.6 second gap that Pitke has ahead of him. Better at him picking up another 3-second time penalty. So we are down to 2 drivers. Then notice Kazingle had picked up a penalty as well. So down to 2 drivers, down to Andre and NLD Rush, who don't have any penalties. So gap at the front down to 3.3 already. So Jack is trying to break that down. Has he broken the DRS of Riker as well? No, Riker just managed to get into it. Almost, it was round about that second point, but Riker just managed to get into it. So Jack will still be turning him around for another lap. Nice through there, gap down to 2.9 and about the 3 seconds. So yeah, Jack is closing on him, but unfortunately for him, he's dragging the rest behind all the way down to rather Adam really. Then we've got a 1.1 second gap back to Bogorovsky, but by no means out of it in 8th position. Connor on those fresh mediums would want to try and get past Bog as quick as he could. No, they're probably in a chat. So there is potential to go past if we can't make an impact, it will be given back. We will see. Right, gap at the front down to 2.2 now. So Jack is absolutely eating into his 2-lap younger tyres. Like an absolute train at the moment. So gap down to 1.9.
Jack is blasting through his DRS. Unfortunately, Riker is, well, unfortunately for Kazingo anyway, Riker is hanging on to the back there, but Riker getting a bit of a poor exit out of that one. DRS managing to just keep his gap around about the 3/4 of a second mark, but really needs to make sure he doesn't drop outside. So Connor now picking up the fastest lap of the race. Those pressure mediums. 8 laps, including the one we are on to go, and the gap at the front down to just under 2 seconds, down to 1 3/4 seconds. So yeah, this is tumbling down. Jack has broken DRS. Riker is not within DRS, and now Riker is going to become susceptible to an overtake from Johnny, because he will not have the straight line speed without the DRS. Johnny does have it. Summers just behind him does have it. So this is going to close. Johnny. I think Johnny can use, just save his ERS going around here, stick with him and then try and make the overtake along the straight before the final chicane. Seems to be the best and safest place to make a move. Tyres just 1 lap in it, but I mean Johnny does have the pressure tyres. Brother Adam picking up another penalty there. We'll just pop up the penalties just to see who is leading. Summer's still on 12 seconds. Brother Adam has 9. The front 3 all with 3 seconds. Johnny with a 6-second penalty though. That is going to stop any real progress. But still, at the end of the day, it's nice to be up there and nice to win on the track, even if it does get taken away from me. Also the opposite, it's always not nice to be gifted a win when you finish, say, 3rd, but the 2 in front had penalties. It's yeah, you'll take it, but it's always better to win it on the road. So yeah, Johnny now closing right up onto the back of Riker. Riker struggling a little bit, 1.2, 1.3 behind Jack. Jack about the same behind Pipke. So I don't think this battle for the lead is done yet, but it's just stagnating a little bit. Bogorowski and Connor exchanging positions there. So Connor will go on the attack for those medium tyres. So also has a 3-second penalty disadvantage on Bogorowski. Whoa. Jack has closed nearly a second on this lap. He is now right behind Pipke. So I can only think Pipke might have made a small error there. Or the tyres were becoming not to his liking. But Kazingo now within DRS zone of Pipke. I think he'll go for the move straight away. It's always worth saving some of your ERS. Using the car in front to tow you along, especially if you could do it for the next 4 laps or so, and then just you only need to be leading on the last lap when you cross the finish line here. Apart from that, it doesn't matter. So Jack taking the lead now. Is he gonna pull away from Pipke, or are these two just going to stretch the gap a little bit further on? Johnny, who I noticed has got past, oh no, he'd already got past Riker. Summers putting the pressure on him now. Let's see, then that gap back to Andre with a gaggle of cars behind him. Composite picking up another 3-second time penalty, so he now has 9 in total. Back to the front, Jack is trying to pull that gap, but just not managing. Pipke has kept within the DRS detection zone, and we'll have that enabled just as we cross this white line here. And we'll now be able to cruise up to the back of Kazingo again. So Kazingo will have it all
to do again to try and stretch that gap. Johnny just 1.4, 1.3 behind, so whether he could make those positions up. Looks like Andre and brother Adam having a little bit of a scrap here. And Connor looking to make the move on Andre. Andre not giving an awful lot of room there, young man. He really didn't quite have the right to turn in on the apex, but no harm done. Connor has... So he's got past. They're still battling away here, aren't they? Shitty camera angle when you need it as well. So looks like Connor just lost it a bit up the inside there. Is Bog gonna go for the overtake? I don't think he is. Just gonna stop him behind. But Connor has dropped just a little bit off now. Front Pipkey has fallen a second behind Kazingle, so no longer in that DRS zone. He hasn't got that suck that he needs to pull him along. But what he has got to be careful of is Johnny behind him. So within that 1 second window now. Does have 6 seconds worth of penalties as well, but the danger is he's pulling along Riker with him, and Riker only has 3 seconds as well. So if it finishes as it is now, Andre and Connor exchanging positions. Connor making the move into turn number 1. So Andre being a bit unsettled. Is that going to allow Volk to get past him? Certainly looks like we've got a few starting to struggle on tyres now. Andre there, but Bob getting a much better drive out, but just can't make the overtake here. All of them with the DRS. Can't do it on a straight. You've got to just take advantage out of a corner or make a dive going into the corner. But right, let's have a look back here, because Johnny is now within half a second of Pipkey. Pipkey dropping off the back of Jack, so this is Jack's to lose now. As long as he doesn't pick up any more warnings, get another penalty, he will be absolutely spot on for today. His teammate Bob currently down in 9th, looking to get past Andre as quick as he can, but 1.2 seconds behind. Bog again scoring points, but it could have been so much better for him today. Looked like a little bit of a cut there by Johnny. Bog is... Brother Adam is off. So yeah, Brother Adam dropping out of the top 10 now. So I can only assume there was a little bit of contact. Perhaps with Andre. Connor, I think he was around that area. Maybe Rush. Can't actually remember, but yeah, must have been ahead because Bogowski now up into 8th, so in 9th position not long ago. So saying not long ago is jump on with Jack for a bit. That gap is now down to under a second behind. So Pipkey, I think, is going to give it everything on this last lap, but so is Johnny. Johnny looking for the move up the inside. So Pipkey not fighting that, but doesn't really need to, because he has, as I say, a 3 second advantage anyway. Bog. I think Bog might have had an incident there. Skipper's now past him as well, so Bog. Yeah, we'll see. Right, okay, get back to the front anyway, because Johnny and Pipkey are going to be battling towards the end, and you've also got the Riker, Connor and Andre just behind. Just want to keep an eye obviously on Jack, as they just over that second now, so I think he's going to win this one. Johnny probably going to finish second on the road, but he's going to drop 3 seconds, so I think he's going to drop down to 4th position. Not 100% sure. We will find out very shortly as we now come up
the big long straight for the final time. Jack will be burning absolutely everything he's got to keep ahead. Johnny will be burning absolutely everything he's got to try and get past him, but here we go. Kazingle comes across and does take the win. Johnny second on the road, Pipke third, Riker fourth, but Johnny dropping down to third, Riker down to fourth. Summers finishes in fifth, but I think he might drop a position for penalties. Maybe not. Connor in sixth position. Seventh is Andre. No, seventh is NLD Rush, who I believe didn't get a penalty. Andre in eighth. Bogrovsky in ninth. Skipper in 10th. Brother Adam will come home 11th. Calais will be the next to come home in 12th position, but well done, my friend. You finished, and with 3 seconds worth of penalties as well. That's pretty impressive. So for a track that absolutely swallows warnings, you've done well to come home with just 3 seconds worth of penalties. Composite will be the last driver on track to come home in 13th place, which he does there. So there we go. That was the Canadian Grand Prix for Division 2, round number 5. Nearly at the halfway mark already during this season. It's gone very, very quickly. But right, okay, let's get the final results up in a minute. So there's Jack getting his trophy. What we'll do, we'll flip off of that. So race winner obviously going to Kazingle. Then we got Connor picking up fastest lap driver of the day and most overtakes. Cleanest driver going to NLD Rush, which I think was right by the fact he was the only one without a penalty. So here we go. Classified results. We have Kazingle in first, Pipke in second, and J5 Gaming picking up third place on the podium. Riker coming home in fourth. In fifth position, Summers. Sixth position, Connor, Havoc Connor. In seventh, we have NLD Rush. Andre in eighth. Barry Bogorowski in ninth. Skipper in 10th. Brother Adam coming home 11th. Calais in 12th. Composite in 13th. And 14th position for Lakatsis. Then the non-finishers of Raikkonen, Pombear and Hummer getting disqualified. Not quite sure what for, with only 9 seconds worth of penalties there, but we'll see what happens there. But Connor also picking up point for fastest lap, 13.327. Right, well, thank you ever so much for watching. Do appreciate it as always. That was round number 5. We're back next week, round number 6. So it's the halfway distance of the season. Round number 6 is going to be in Silverstone. Slight twist in Silverstone as well is it is going to be absolutely chucking it down. It's going to be wet for all sessions. So it'll be interesting to see who deals with the conditions best. But we'll be back, as I say, next Wednesday at 8 PM GMT. D Summers will be heading the comms for Division 1, and I'll be back next Thursday at 8 o'clock for Division number 2. So thank you ever so much for tuning in and listening. I hope you have a wonderful